yo, let me speak on this, orale! Arriba la raza! And my panel leaves me hanging. Welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday 10 show. This is with CadChica Sports. I am Sunny Cadwallader, your host. Better known as CadChica. Tuesday 10 is a quick 10-minute chat with leaders and up-and-comers in the world of sports, from media broadcasting, business marketing, social media, and more. And my panel is a collection of friends, or at least those who I thought were my friends, but they left me hanging, tossed me out of the ring, and I am to be no more. Well, please welcome in my guests, Derrick, Tariq, and Dr. J. Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going? What's up?
You guys, I hate you right now, but be that as it may, Derrick, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Derrick Docket. I'm currently Associate Commissioner of New Media and Technology at the Missouri Valley Conference. A very avid wrestling fan from the time frame of the mid to late 90s up through the 2000s, and was highly into it. And we'll talk a bit more about our pro wrestling history and things of that nature as well.
So much into it that you left me hanging. Thanks, Derrick. Tariq, hello. How are you, Tariq?
What's up, Sonny? Tariq Ahmad, Social Business Manager for IBM. Also created the SM Sports hashtag, which is a plethora of social media and sports news. Also the host of SM Sports Chat, 9 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday night.
And I'm just glad you were able to join us finally after multiple failed attempts. But hey, that be that as it may. Dr. J, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, Sonny. Jimmy Sanderson, Assistant Professor here at Clemson University, where I study sports communication and social media and oversee our sports communication major. Huge wrestling fan. Really, my area is the late 80s through about the early 2000s, and I'm kind of having a renaissance with it right now. And you had to expect a heel turn at the beginning of this, didn't you?
Boom!
Oh, wow. Let's see. Whoops, that's the wrong one. See, we are having a heck of a time with this show already. There we go. This show is totally unscripted tonight, just like wrestling is totally unscripted. Isn't that right, Derrick?
That's right.
They have a saying for something called the Royal Rumble, every man for himself. And the other saying for the WWE is anything can happen in the WWE. For anyone that watched way back in the days when Vince McMahon was the man on the mic, that's what he would love to say, besides, what a maneuver, one of my favorite Vince McMahon lines. But since we're off and running, the guys and I were talking, and I wanted to pose the question to the other two guys. Wrestling stables. We've talked a lot about the NWO, the Four Horsemen, D-Generation X. I'm going to start with Tariq because we've already had this disagreement, but he clarified for me, but his favorite wrestling stable. Tariq, what do you got for us?
Are you there, Tariq?
It's got to be the NWO Wolfpack. I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Why the Wolfpack?
This is terrible.
No, we can hear you. Why the Wolfpack? Oh, boy. Well, Jimmy.
I don't know, just because I think it was in WCW.
Oh, he's there. Oh,
I was growing up watching wrestling. It just happened to be my favorite stable. It was the black and red. They were the cool stable. It was just something I really liked. I liked their intro. Everything they did was cool. I see y'all laughing at me, so maybe this isn't going very well. Yeah, I got you.
No, we're not laughing at you. We're not laughing
You liked
at you.
their intro, and I paid homage to their intro, and you failed me, Tariq. That's fine. Go right ahead.
I don't want a wrestling promo to break out right now, so I'm going to try and keep the peace. But Jimmy, we haven't actually discussed this topic. What do you think? What's your favorite?
Yeah.
Not the best, but your favorite stable.
Right, yeah, I think for me, favorite just has to be the vintage Four Horsemen with Flair, Barry Windham, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. So going old school, just those were kind of the glory days of WCW for me. They were your proverbial heels. Ric Flair, that was kind of the prime of his, reign in WCW, and they just, they were a fun group to watch, good on the mic, good in the ring, and definitely kind of made their own rules. So definitely got to be the vintage Four Horsemen. In that, even though their makeup changed over the years, that grouping for me is my favorite for sure.
I'm going to throw a wrench into things. Not really a wrench, but The Generation X is one of my favorites. I was more of a pro WWF, WWE guy back in those days. I was a huge fan of the Generation X, and I loved to see them go on their little tank where they went to the Norfolk Scope and tried to infiltrate WCW. But one of the shortest, I guess, reigning, I don't know if reigning is the right word, but shortest lived stables, the Hart Foundation of Bret, Owen, Bulldog, and Brian Pillman. They weren't around the whole line, mostly because of the untimely death of Brian Pillman, things like that. But I thought that group had a lot of creative energy behind them, and I loved the fact of what the run that Bret Hart was on in the 90s before he went to WCW. I thought they had a lot of potential, and it made it exciting, especially with the feud with Shawn Michaels. Owen Hart's feud with Stone Cold when Stone Cold had the neck injury. I thought all that was really, really entertaining, especially the Stone Cold Owen Hart feud. That was one of my favorites, and that didn't get to last the amount of time that it was needed because of what happened in Montreal in 1997. So to me, the Hart Foundation had a lot of creative energy that wasn't exactly that came to fruition. So, but since we lost Tariq, unfortunately.
Yes, we lost Tariq again, ladies and gentlemen. If you weren't privy to what was going on in the green room, you weren't privy to a hangout we have done with Tariq before. Tariq has issues, technical issues, when trying to join a Google Plus hangout. But be that as it may, again.
Just like the Royal Rumble, he slid underneath the bottom rope and hid.
That's right.
He's going to come back until he's thrown over the top rope.
It's gonna rise up through the mat. Yeah, there we go.
Timely. I love it.
But no, I want to say that's a good call on the Hart Foundation. I do remember that grouping, and one thing that I really think made them good was they were very good tacticians in the ring. It was really sad that Owen Hart died when he did, because I think he would have had a really great career. And Bret Hart, he's probably one of, if not the greatest, one of the greatest tactical wrestlers we've ever seen. And in fact, one of the moments I remember, this was in WCW, but right after Owen Hart died, Bret Hart and Chris Benoit had a match on Nitro. It was dedicated to Owen Hart's memory, but just a really, if you like the tactical side of professional wrestling, it was just a great matchup. And tragedy kind of ran through that group. Most of us are familiar with what happened with Benoit, but good call on that for sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question as not necessarily a wrestling fan per se, but you guys are throwing out some fun videos on social media. How did you guys deal with the perception of, oh, it's fake, it's not a sport? Why do you guys watch that kind of trash? Did you guys experience that when you were growing up, or do you still?
Well, when go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead,
Derrick. Well, I was just gonna say no. The only thing I got was from my parents. They didn't like it, but my brothers and my friends, we loved it. I have some students that question it, because I do show clips in class, and I do like to mess with them and have them believe that I really think it's real. But in all seriousness, it's fun to mess with them in that way. Trust me. I really have never been stigmatized personally, and I think it's really evolved. If you look at just the physique of the wrestlers now compared to like the 80s and early 90s, there's very few what I would call fat, kind of overweight wrestlers like the Earthquake and Tugboat and people like that. Now most of those guys are pretty sculpted and chiseled, and I think there's been a shift in public perception a little. I know a lot of people still don't like it, but for me, no, haven't encountered that really.
Derrick?
Yeah. For me, I guess a little different, because at the height of its popularity, it was a little bit more mainstream when I was highly into it, which was probably, when I was a sophomore, junior, senior in high school.
Just a wee lad?
Just a wee lad. I was going to say, though, one of the things is when I was in college, the late 90s, early 2000s, when the height of The Rock, Stone Cold, it was normal that you see people wearing the T-shirts. You see, Monday night in my dorm, on the guys' floor, everyone's meeting in one guy's room to watch Monday Night Raw and Nitro on two different TVs, because you don't want to miss both shows. You want to watch them both at the same time. That's how mainstream and accepted it was back in 98, 99. And at the same time, no one really thought about, oh, it's fake, these guys are athletes. It was purely from the entertainment standpoint of the storyline. And keep in mind, at that time too, there was so much talking going on, which there still is a lot of talking going on, but people were just curious of what was going to happen next. How was Stone Cold or Vince McMahon going to try and screw over Stone Cold again? It was like, that was the storyline, and that's what made people get into it. Not so much the athleticism, but at the same time, though, I was one of those people where I realized, oh my gosh, these guys can jump and do these flips and fly through the ring. Some pretty talented athletes do that, because I know I can't do that. And then they're having matches that last an hour, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. Especially when you talk about, there's a division that WCW had called the cruiserweights. There were smaller wrestlers that weighed like under 215 pounds or so. Extremely athletic. These guys did flips and everything like you would imagine. And I guarantee they were the division that actually changed a lot of people's minds of, these guys aren't athletes, they're whatever. If you watch someone in front of a cruiserweight match, you can change somebody's mind. And if you let somebody watch a tables, ladders, and chairs match, you can also win some people that way too.
Mm-hmm. Did you have anything to add, Jimmy?
No, I mean, absolutely agree. I think there's just a higher. I think it was actually Eric Bischoff who kind of started the luchador kind of cruiserweight division in the late 90s in WCW, and I think we're seeing now a higher degree of athleticism. And I know Tariq's not here for me to actually give a compliment to The Undertaker, but even some of the bigger wrestlers like The Undertaker, they're very adept at using the ring and the ropes and those sorts of things. So I think wrestling has kind of evolved just in terms of the athleticism, as Derrick mentioned, and I think that you have to appreciate what they put their bodies through. I think it's pretty amazing when you see what they do on those ladders and flying and doing the somersaults off the ropes and all that other stuff, and they're really doing that. I mean, that what's fake is the outcome. That's what's scripted.
Right.
But the fact that those guys are really doing those things, they're really taking those hits and those shots and jumping like that, and I think for me, they're every bit as athletic as any other athlete.
One more thing I want to add on the evolution part. One of the things is nowadays, and I've actually tried to get back into it recently. I've actually gotten a subscription to the WWE Network, mostly because I love the old stuff and trying to relive it. They've got a gigantic library for anyone that has watched it in the past. One of the reasons of getting it, but keeping up with some of the current stuff, they've got a ton of content, which is actually pretty creative. Somebody like me that's into digital media and everything, but the evolution part of it, if you look at some of like the bodies and the figures of what they've become, they've even sort of not always been the big chiseled big guys. Now CM Punk's no longer there. He's on a hiatus, whatever you want to call it, but he's one of the guys that is not the big chiseled guy. He's pure and a wrestler, and that's what he likes to be. Look at the CM Punks of the world, the Kofi Kingstons, these smaller guys that aren't just big muscle-bound dudes, and they're not 6'7" or 6'8". They're not The Rock or anything. They're just athletic. They have a physical build that sort of fits in for how their technique works in the ring.
We do have a viewer, Derrick and Dr. J, Scott Scowcroft from the great city of Seattle. He's wondering, is it stronger in any one part of the country or popular all over the place? What about overseas? He wants to know.
It's a good question.
Dr. J?
Yeah, there's some strings all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say.
Go ahead, Dr. J.
I mean, it's really interesting when you look at kind of wrestling used to be very territorial. So like the WWE, their region was kind of the Northeast, and then WCW, which was formerly NWA, kind of had the Mid-Atlantic. So wrestling's kind of, then AWA was up in the Midwest and the Great Lakes area. But I think WWE is clearly very popular in the South. I think it's very popular in the Northeast. I'm not sure that they have as strong a following out west. And I do think it is popular internationally. They will go over there and do events, and they're usually very well received and sold out. And one question that kind of comes up with that is, right now, TNA is, another wrestling organization that's out there. I don't really think they're competition at this point for WWE, but I do think, it would actually make the product better if there was another kind of WCW to draw people in from those other parts of the country. But, for me, I think definitely the South and the Northeast would be the strongest parts of the country.
Let me give Tariq, our man Tariq, Dr. Tariq has rejoined the program. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on that question from Scott on the popularity? What about it overseas as well?
I would say it is pretty popular outside of the U.S. I know the WWE does do 1 or 2 tours per year outside of the U.S. They go to Australia, they go to England, they go to some other places. Now, I know wrestling-wise, wrestling is really popular in Mexico and Japan, so you will have a lot of popularity there. So since those 2 countries really love the sport of wrestling there, that you'll have much more popularity there. Definitely England as well, because every time they go to England, like, the fans there are just crazy nuts over professional wrestling. So definitely WWE has done a really good job of spreading their footprint worldwide to make sure that fans everywhere can consume their content.
All right, Derrick, I did send you a quick question in the chat, but you're probably not reading it right now. Let's close with that question. Teach me, guys. Teach me.
Sonny wants to know who the best.
I'll jump in and take that. I think for me, and it kind of was. It's kind of complicated by how his career kind of played out towards the end, but I think. And we talked about this on Twitter, a couple weeks ago when the anniversary came up. But I think when Hulk Hogan became Hollywood Hogan and joined the NWO, I think that was the most significant moment in wrestling history easily in the past 40, 50 years. And I think he really became kind of a terrific, almost, in fact, in my opinion, a better heel than he was as a face. So, and then just one last thing I'd add is somebody who I think had the potential to be probably the best bad guy but never did because of injuries and for whatever reason, just could never get over was Sid Vicious, or Sid Justice as he was known. I think he could have been probably one of the best bad guys we'd ever seen.
Derrick, who's your best bad guy in wrestling ever?
Well, first of all, there's one original bad guy, and it was Razor Ramon, because he called himself the bad guy. So I want to throw that out there. But to me, one of the better heels or bad guys out there in wrestling, I actually thought. I'm going to go twofold. Chris Jericho played a pretty good heel when he was in WCW, when he was feuding with Rey Mysterio. And a bunch of other cruiserweights, he would take, he'd win a match and take a mask, and he would stand in the ring and read all of his moves off a piece of paper and do antagonizing things in a comical way. Really, really entertaining. On the WWE/F side, I think Triple H is a pretty good bad guy because he's so annoying. Because he would always win, and it would just make people mad, and it definitely got just like John Cena.
Dude, wasn't he?
Yeah. Depending upon how you relate it to other wrestlers, but yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about hands. He was a pretty good bad guy because he always wins. Kind of like how John Cena's a face. He's a good guy and always wins. People were tired of seeing him win. People got tired of seeing Triple H win because he's a bad guy. But to me, Vince McMahon was a really good bad guy. He did his job pretty well for someone that wasn't a wrestler or pure wrestler. The Stone Cold Vince McMahon feud was off the charts, obviously, but Vince McMahon was a key part of that and did some pretty devious things along the way. So I give my nod to Vince McMahon too.
Tariq?
Best heel of all time, I would say I'm going to go Jimmy's route, and I'm going to go Ric Flair. I'd say he's probably one of the best heels or one of the best bad guys of all time, just for the fact, just the way he did things, like called himself the dirtiest player in the game, just the way he talked on the mic, just the way he would get under your skin. I would definitely go Ric Flair. I would say one of the more underrated heels of all time was Rick Rude, which was from the WWF days in the 80s. So he was really good, just, the way he came in. He had his, his selfie spray painted on his tights, and he's like, ladies, watch me as I take off my robe, hit my music, he danced for you, and I would say definitely Rick Rude was not only one of the better heels, I think, but definitely one of the more underrated ones as well. I'd still go Ric Flair as probably the best heel of all time.
Well, I'm going to bring this up because this is interesting. My friend Travis Bell, so I'm a little older than you guys, so I could speak a little more from experience, but guys like The Rock, Undertaker, Lesnar, Kevin Nash, he remembers these guys in college, and he competed against them. Oh, my gosh. He's not at all surprised at the athleticism of the competitor. My question is, do you see this trend growing? Derrick?
Of athletes going into wrestling?
Athleticism, yeah. I would assume.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, when you think about it now, Brock Lesnar was a collegiate wrestler. Kurt Angle, who was a WWF champion, and now is he? I'm not sure if he's still in TNA. I don't get to watch a whole lot of TNA.
He is, yeah.
Okay, I mean, he's been a champion on a number of different levels, a number of different promotions. Olympic gold medalist, like a true Olympic gold medalist. Mark Henry's been in wrestling. He's like an Olympic weightlifter. Was like world's strongest man. Big Show played basketball at Wichita State. I mean, and these are guys that are either current or past. And now you're seeing a lot more of the guys that come from like true athletic, like what we call sports, like our mainstream sports, jumping into it. Now you're not seeing like hockey guys are just going in there because they've got experience fighting, but I mean they definitely have that type of experience. It's to me, I definitely could see it continuing. So it depends on how the WWE decides to develop that kind of talent too.
Right. One more comment, and just wanted to say hello to Anwar Adnan. I think he joined our last Heels and Jobbers show. He's coming to us from the Middle East, and he says it's huge there too, Egypt, Gulf countries, and where he's located in Iraq. So thanks for joining us, guys. And any closing thoughts, Tariq? And
Have
I
some
think
better connection next time.
Yes. Where can people find you, Tariq? How can they get connected and talk some trash with you, talk some WWE with you? I know you guys do it on Twitter all the time, but how can they connect with you? And I think we lost him again. All right, Derrick, how can people connect with you?
I don't know if I can follow. I think he was just on a delay. It's like when you're watching NBC News and they go overseas. Just let's go to Sonny, who's in Iraq right now.
And, yeah.
Yes, people can find me on Twitter. Sorry. I'm often tweeting with the good doctor and with Tariq talking about theme music and all that stuff at Docket, DDOCKET. That's with one T. You send two, you're going to send it to Darnell Docket, the Arizona Cardinals. And that's probably the best way. I'm always tweeting back with people, not just about WWE, but all kinds of stuff. So hop on and appreciate the follow.
And Dr. Jimmy.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, you can find me on Twitter at Jimmy, JIMMY_Sanderson, and definitely pretty much always on there, unfortunately, and always happy to talk sports, wrestling, pop culture, you name it. So definitely look me up there, and happy to talk.
Excellent. And Travis wanted to throw in the Great Mephisto. Am I saying that right, you guys? As the greatest heel?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah. he might need to be on the next show because he's throwing out someone I've never heard of either.
I mean,
well, there we go.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm just learning. I'm going to go Google somebody apparently.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, and I believe Travis's Twitter handle is SBG_CEO, so you can loop him in on your conversations. And thank you everyone for joining us, including Tariq. You can find Tariq on Twitter at Tariq TARIQ_Ahmad AHMAD. Connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at CadChica. Check out my website, CadChicaSports.com, and definitely always find me here on Google+, Sunny Cadwallader. Thank you for joining those few viewers who joined us tonight. Thank you for joining Heels and Jobbers, the Tuesday 10 version of Heels and Jobbers. Tune in next week when I will be joined by Bleacher Report's Mike Freeman. He is also the author of a book written with the assistance of the Roberto Clemente family. It's called Clemente. Join us next week at the same time, same Chica location. Thanks, everyone.